Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was the cute little girl. No matter what she was did or where she was heading, she always wore the red hooded cape her grandmother gave her. And so, everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, around noon, Little Red Riding Hood's mother had finished baking sweet cookies. As she was putting them on the table to cool off, Little Red Riding Hood couldn't resist picking one up and taking a bite.
Mom, best cookies in the world!
Little Red Riding Hood, I made some extras specially for Grandma. Go and deliver them to her.
Sure, Mama.
Little Red Riding Hood happily stashed the cookies in the basket and strapped it on her back, and off she went. Before she was out of reach, her mother reminded her,
Little Red Riding Hood, remember to take the main road and come back before dark.
I know.
Little Red Riding Hood is singing her way down the road.
La la la, la la la, la 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 la.
The forest is quite enjoyable. The Little Red Riding Hood chases the little rabbit, feeds the squirrel a little, and then sings with birds for a while. Suddenly, she bumps into something furry.
Oops.
Little Red Riding Hood rubbed her head.
What? Who hit me?
A loud voice was heard. Little Red Riding Hood took a closer look. It turned out to be a big bad wolf. The big bad wolf wasn't in a good mood and showed his teeth.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wolf. I didn't mean to bump into you like that. I'm going to my grandma's to deliver some sweet cookies. And I guess I didn't pay enough attention to the road.
The big bad wolf rolled his eyes.
A little girl is not enough to fill me up. I should figure out where the grandmother's house. Where's your grandmother's house?
It's up ahead on that side.
Look, how beautiful the flowers around here. Make a banquet and bring it to your grandmother. I'm sure she will be pleased.
You're right, Mr. Wolf.
Go pick some more.
As soon as the big bad wolf was done speaking, he rushed off to Grandma's house.
I can finally eat to your fill.
Little Red Riding Hood happily picked the flowers. She didn't notice, but a long time passed by. The sun was about to set when realized it. She hurried to her grandmother's house with her basket full. Shortly thereafter, Little Red Riding Hood made it to the front yard of her grandmother's house, but the door wasn't closed. Little Red Riding Hood walked up to the door, flowers in hand and basket strapped on, and shouted,
Grandma! Grandma!
Who is it?
A low-pitched voice came from the bed.
Grandma, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I bought you flowers and cookies.
Oh, the door is opened. I'm not feeling too well. You come to the bed. Grandma wants to talk to you.
Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and saw her grandmother in bed. She feels something seems off with her grandma.
Grandma, why are your ears so huge?
It's so I can hear you.
Grandma, why are your hands so big?
It's so I can hold you tightly.
Grandma, why is your mouth so big?
It's to better eat you.
The words barely left the big bad wolf mouth. He sprang off the bed towards Little Red Riding Hood. Unexpectedly, the big bad wolf pounced on the Little Red Riding Hood and didn't succeed in grabbing her. She was put back by a pair of large hands. It turned out that Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother wasn't home. When Grandma came back, she noticed the door was open. Near in front of her bed was the big bad wolf. She rushed forward to protect Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood, don't be afraid. Grandma is here.
At that moment, The big bad wolf shook his head in delight and licked his lips in anticipation.
Ha! So, I get to eat two for one day.
As he uttered the words, he rushed towards them. Grandma took Little Red Riding Hood and shouted her for the big bad wolf, knocking over cups, table, and chairs. The fight made quite a ruckus.
Help! Help! Help!
You can shout all you want. Today, you won't run away.
By happenstance, a hunter was passing by Grandmother's house and heard the cries for help. The hunter kicked down the door hard. In a split second, he saw the big bad wolf rushing towards the Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma, who had nowhere to hide. And he knew what to do. The hunter raised his shotgun and aimed it squarely at the big bad wolf. The bullet dug into the big bad wolf's leg. The big bad wolf immediately became a lame big bad wolf, who went crashing through the window as a means to escape. Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood were saved.
Don't be afraid, Little Red Riding Hood. Uncle Hunter got rid of the big bad wolf for you.
Little Red Riding Hood walked up to Uncle Hunter.
Thank you, Uncle Hunter. Thank you for saving us.
You're welcome, little one.
Since then, the big bad wolf was never heard of again. The wolves had lost the sight of him. Little Red Riding Hood also remembered her mother's words dearly. Never trust a stranger so easily again. Remember, listen to your mother.